Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Cleveland International Film Festival Swan Song Cast Reunion in partnership with the Greater Cleveland Film Commission. My name is Deidre McPherson. I'm the Film Festival Special Programs Coordinator, and I've had the pleasure of working with Todd Stephens during his time connecting with audiences virtually, because while we would have loved to have been in person and bring our cast and our audiences together for this event and many others, that's not possible safely this year. So I want to thank Todd for conceiving of this event, bringing our cast together, and a huge thanks also to the staff of the Greater Cleveland Film Commission for making this event possible. One thing I wanted to announce is remind you all that we are honoring Todd this year with our Dreamcatcher Award, our third annual Dreamcatcher Award. Yes, absolutely. This award was established in 2019 to honor the life of a late film festival trustee, David K. Ream. He was a true Renaissance man at heart, and he loved Cleveland and everything about it. And how appropriate that Todd is from Ohio, born and raised in Sandusky. And we're so excited to honor him and show all three of his films, which I'm sure everyone has seen, and most of the people on this call have been in or involved in some intimate way. So, but this award, it honors filmmakers who are LGBTQ and whose films honor LGBTQ themes. And so as part of Todd's award, he is spending time with organizations in Northeast Ohio and talking about his films and connecting with lots of great organizations virtually. And we've also given him a cash prize to encourage him and support future work that he's doing. We would love for you, yes, we would love for you to join us tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. when Todd is given his award, receives his award officially live on our YouTube page. And I'll drop that link to join in the chat. But Todd will be talking about his film, getting his award, and it'll be a really, really fun evening. So I encourage you to join us for that. And with that, I'm going to kick things over to our host this evening, Mr. Mike Wendt. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deirdre, and thank you so much, Cleveland International Film Festival, for asking us to be a part of this. Real quick before I kick it over to Todd, I had the great opportunity to work, with Todd to help him get a couple things started when he was thinking about coming this way, and helped him connect with some local crew members that got on the film. And while I never, unfortunately, got to get over to the set, I just felt like, just the vibe from Todd that he gave off, that that this was going to be a special film. And after getting to see it over this weekend, it's confirmed. So congratulations to all of you. And I would like to introduce Mr. Todd Stephens.
Hey, good to sort of see you all out there, but I see everyone here, but good. Thanks for coming. And we really appreciate it. We hope you had a chance to check out the movie. I want to just very quickly introduce people, the people on the panel. If you haven't done it already, if you're able to add to your name the character that you played, or your position in the crew, that would be awesome, so people can see what's up. I don't know where he went, but Udo was somewhere, but he seems to be having some technical problems, but hopefully he'll come back. Udo played Mr. Pat. Also starring in the film, just going through things, was Kathy Albers, who played Janie, who took the pickup ride with Udo. The fabulous Rashawn Thomas, who I went to high school with and graduated with, who played Nurse Shondell. And also in the nursing home stuff was the evil lawyer, Mr. Shanrock, who came and kicked the whole thing off. That's Tom Bloom. Woman that's been in every one of my films and always will be, is Stephanie McVeigh, who played Sue in The Thrift Store. It was amazing. In the bar was that Udo had a long conversation with, was character of Gabriel, who's played by Tom Hilton. There's Tom. And if you remember, Mr. Pat took a trip looking for some beauty supplies to his old his old hair supply place, which is now a salon owned and operated by a character named Roro, played by the fabulous Shanessa Sweeney. And then we have, let's see, well, there's Udo. Hey, Udo, that's Udo, who he had a small part.
But it's not.
If you blinked, you
It's not work.
and then let's see, who else is there? I see Dave Sorbaro, who played Josiah, who was the farmer that Udo had like a little, or Pat had a little moment with, a little trip and fall that Dave helped him with. And where did Ira go?
I don't hear anything. It is like I'm sitting here.
You can't hear it. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But I think that I covered everybody except for Ira Hawkins, who had a huge part in the film, who played Pat's best friend Eunice. Amazing. Did I miss any of the actors?
Oh, right?
Is that everybody?
Jonah.
Jonah. Sorry, Jonah. Jonah has been a star of the last 3 of my films, who was the star of another gay movie, another gay sequel, and played the fabulous Tristan with Jennifer Coolidge and Udo in that scene. That's Jonah Bleckman, my brother Jonah. That's Jonah. Hey, Jonah. And so now let me introduce you to some of the crew. Well, first of all, I see my mom and dad are here, which is, you know, Karen and John Stephens, who are a big part of all my films. This is like a family reunion, by the way, guys. So like, this is the first time we've all gotten back together since we made the movie. So it's a really cool moment for us. So there's mom and dad who helped make it all possible. And then my casting director, my main casting director, Eve Battaglia, who's cast the last 4 movies that I've done and always will. Eve Battaglia, amazing. And helping out Eve on the Ohio side with the Ohio actors, who many of these people were cast by Angela Bohm. That's Angela. And then let's see, we got, hair and makeup is like a huge part of every movie. You think about Linda's hair, the hair in the coffin, you know, Udo's look, his eyelashes, that's Lydia Kane who did that. Hey, Lydia. My little brother, Chris Stephens, not only did he do all the stills for the film, but he also did the original score, which is like quite amazing.
Wow.
That's Chris Stephens, is my brother. 2 of the producers are here. My producing partner, Eric Eisenbray, who also writes with me. We write stuff together, and also played the part of Dave in the film, Eric Eisenbray. And then that's my husband, Tim Kaltenecker. We actually met in the real Universal Fruit and Nut Company. I won't say the date, but many, many years ago. And we've been together ever since. Tim is a huge part of all my films, and none of this would be possible without him.
Wow.
And then we have like 2 of the other like big, my big artistic collaborators, the production designer, who's like in charge of everything, how everything looks that you put in front of the camera, in terms of sets and props and all that. That's Cassandra DeAngelis. We call her Cass. And one of the costume designers is here, who did Udo's green suit and the hat and all of that kind of stuff. I actually have like the little pieces. Oh my God. That's Shauna Nova Foley. Hey, Shauna, one of the associate producers. Oh my God, there it is. There's the glasses.
That's amazing.
Wow, awesome. One of the associate producers who is in charge of the State Theater, which is where we did a lot of shooting and also had our production office. It's in downtown Sandusky, Ohio. It's being rebuilt now. So at some point, you got to come check it out when it's done. Chris Parthamore. Hey, Chris. And let's see. And I think that Spencer, if I missed anybody, let me know. But, one person that is really responsible for, like, this is a very performance-based movie. And the person that really helped bring out the best in all the acting that you guys did is the editor, Spencer Shilley. That's Spencer. And Spencer and I have worked together on several films. So he makes magic happen. I love working with them, Spencer.
My pleasure.
I just wanted you guys to know who everybody was, you know, because like without all of these people, none of this would be possible. So that's what I have to say.
Well, I mean, I think obviously the pandemic is not a good thing, but the fact that, with all this Zoom technology, the fact that you can all be together, I think is pretty amazing. But I guess I'm just gonna ask real quick, Todd, where, I know this is the third of your kind of trilogy of films that kind of tie you back to your hometown of Sandusky. And where did the idea for this one come from?
This one came from, it was based on a real person who, when I was young, even when I was younger, I would see this like really flamboyant, fabulous, fashion-forward man walking around. I would spot him in town at times. I learned later that he ran like the big hair salon downtown called Designers, and he was really stuck out. He was really different. He looked different than everybody else. And we're talking about in the 70s, 60s and 70s. I don't remember him from the 60s, but the 70s, like, he would wear this, velvet fedora and feather boa, and had rings on every finger. And I was always really kind of obsessed with him. When I got up the nerve to go to our local gay bar, which was called the Universal Fruit and Nut Company, believe it or not, which is the best gay bar in the history of the world. When I first went there, the very first time, I saw something sparkling and shimmering on the dance floor, and I turned and looked, and there was Pat Pitzenbarger, Mr. Pat, who was this person that I had seen, numerous times through my life. So it all connected, And I just kind of felt like when I went in there that I was home, So it was based on Mr. Pat. He passed away. I never really knew him very well. I never really knew him because I moved away not long after that. But I just always looked up to him because he had the courage to be himself, And so that's who inspired the part. Finding somebody, the right person to play him, was the real challenge we could talk about. Yeah, it was really a journey, like finding a person to play Mr. Pat. I wrote a character of Mr. Pat in my first film, Edge of 17. And we literally could not find the right actor to play him. So the part got cut out, and it became Leah Delaria, like had a smaller part in the movie. And all of Mr. Pat's scenes became Leah's scenes as sort of the mentor character for the protagonist of that film. But, the idea with my casting team came up of Udo playing Pat. And, I didn't, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. So Udo, can you hear me now?
I think Udo just got kicked off again.
Okay. Who needs to? I mean, really, seriously, who needs to? But Udo and I met. I flew out he read the script. If he comes back, he could tell you more. But he read the script, and he really responded to it, and I flew out to meet him. He lives in Palm Springs, and we became friends. And so by the time we shot the movie, we had known each other for like a year, which I think is part of why we just had such a great working relationship.
And I'm sorry, I got kicked off myself.
That's okay.
I can empathize with Udo for the second. But now, did you have Udo in mind when you were casting the film?
No, I should say that I did, and that I wrote it for him. But hi, Udo. Somebody else who just joined us is the person who is the cinematographer of the film, who made the film look so beautiful. And that's the fabulous Jackson Warner Lewis. Hey, Jackson, how are you?
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Fresh off the set.
Yeah, I was rushing to get back.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys, see everyone.
You too. Yeah. So yeah, Udo wasn't in mine originally, but as soon as we met, I knew that I really kind of believe that he's the only person on the planet that could have played the part.
Mm.
What questions do you have for Udo, or does anyone have?
So, I mean, Udo, I know this is, you have a long, illustrious career. I mean, and I know a lot of times you're a supporting character. What was it like to have that main leading role?
Well, for me, every film I do, it's never for me a supporting role. If I would go to a supporting role, I wouldn't make movies. It's like what I liked when I met Todd was the story, and of course the script. That's when we met, and I was thinking it is an amazing role, and also it was for me a non-acting role. I did not try any special effect of looking out of the window, killing some flies and doing some crazy thing. If I was just there in the situation, and Todd guided me through the film, and the actors who were working with me, very, very real. There wasn't any acting because it was a film. A small film is the wrong word. There is no small film. There's only bad ones or good ones. Yeah. And this one is a good one. And it wasn't kind of a film where the actors, they have trailers and all this. It was making a movie. And that street, there was really a thrift store. And I went in the thrift store and I got my suit, and then I got a hat and outside, and I felt very well. And going back, and the people did not recognize me, which of course is a new generation. I had fun. It's not because, like all the critics in America, they write finally total role for him. And sometimes it's a good story, and it was for me very easy to do because there wasn't everybody was really very nice and good, and Todd knew very well what he wanted to do, which he did. And I'm going crazy that I have not seen the film on a big screen. I only saw the film on the computer, and then getting people sending me all the reviews around America, and they like it, but I have seen myself on a little tiny screen. So I live in Palm Springs, as you know, and I will arrange a screening on the biggest cinema that we have here, and have some on the parking lot, some good wine, and then we go in, because I want to see myself on a big screen, because there is maybe feelings which are transmitted without programming, which I can see. On a computer, you cannot see that. Okay, you know it's a close-up, but you don't know really what is really happening in the eyes and what's going on. And so that's what I'm looking for, to see it on a big screen. Because
hopefully by the time Magnolia releases it later this year, which is very exciting, hopefully more people will have their vaccines, and we can see it on the on the biggest screen possible. Now we already have some audience questions, and we want to encourage people who are in the audience to ask questions. Was there any specific scenes that stood out more to, this is kind of open to the whole cast, but were there any specific scenes personally to anyone that felt the most impactful, or important to them as actors.
Stephanie's is the best. It's so good.
Oh, come on.
For real.
Well, you know what? Being across from Udo, who I had not really known about, looking into his eyes, I mean, I could cry right now. He was so sincere and so sweet. And I felt that he had done my hair in the Dorsey Hammer, which is what he said he did. And he's the easiest to work with because he was so genuine. And it took my ego, like, because I don't have an ego, but if I did, it took it like way below because all we were doing was talking. And he was so sweet and it was easy. And I thank him. I learned so much in that short day.
Well, thank you, because you were very, very good. And that's, I had connection with you right away, and there wasn't any kind of that you were looking at the camera or doing some kind of strange movement. And that's why it worked. And I was very happy when I walked on the street that you had put $100 in my suit.
I didn't know that. I didn't know I did that.
Yes, I go with the suit and I'm very happy. And I go with the suit and all of a sudden I feel in my pocket and I take $100 out, which you had put in my suit.
And you blow it on one drink.
Yes, because I had to give a big tip. So I had one glass and then say, it's good, rest is for you. Yes. No,
yes, it was
brilliant.
It's a great film, Udo. I hope you get to see it.
When we were editing the film at the Tombstone, Udo, I mean, Todd can attest to this. I had to step away because I was crying. I was like, I got so emotional editing the scene of Udo at the Tombstone with his ex. I was like, I can't do this right now. I literally, we had to take a break a couple of times.
But there was a moment everybody respected when I got to the cemetery, what I had to do. And I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just knew from Todd what he wanted me to do. And then I didn't want to see the gravestone before the camera was running. And then I really discovered my name there. And now even thinking about it, my hair.
I've got chill bumps right now.
Standing all up, because you cannot, scenes like that are so difficult and dangerous because you can so easy go over the top. And but then it's not real, and people say, wow, very dramatic, very dramatic. You have to feel. And I learned this. I'm working 30 years with Lars von Trier, and his favorite line to actors is, don't act. And he said that to Nicole Kidman, Lauren Bacall, to everybody when we were working. And then some of the actors, they went with the shoulder, they said, I'm not acting. And they said, what is that? So that is like, it's not easy to do nothing. It's much more difficult to do nothing than doing a lot. It's like a lot of great actors. I don't want to mention name, but they start with their back to the camera and they're saying very, very important stuff. And then they turn around, and they look at the floor, and they continue saying important words to the floor. And finally they come up to the camera and they say, wow, another Oscar speech. So, it's like, I try and I will. This was the very important this film for me, or for my acting also, because in the future, what I ever will do, I might have to play Adolf Hitler, which is a total difference, but I don't want to act anymore. It's like I have text, I have a costume, and I have light, and I have situations, and I have a director who can guide me through the movies. You know, it's not like, oh, I have an idea. I don't like that. The
So you
idea,
run with each other.
the idea is the script and the director guiding me, and then comes the editing, and then comes the music and everything. But as I said before, I can't wait. I can't wait to see the movie on the big screen. I'm going to, and even if I have to rent a cinema all for myself, I'm going to see it very soon on a big screen.
I'll drive down. I'll drive down.
Yeah.
I will too, Stephanie.
Okay,
Me too.
let's go together.
Out.
Be there.
Absolutely.
I have a
Just one
party.
thing I want to say about that real quick. I think that would be amazing to go to like Udo's screening. But thankfully it's not going to be necessary because the film is going to be released in the theaters.
Right.
In probably, I mean, this is subject to change, and it's like inside information that I probably shouldn't say, but probably in August. So we're hoping that you know, by that time I think a lot of us are dying to get back to the movies, and and that, you know, a lot of us are getting vaccinated, and this is a film about somebody. It's just all coincidental that it's essentially about somebody who's quarantined from life, who's rediscovering life. And I think that seems to be striking a chord with people that have seen it. So I really kind of think it might be really good time that this, you know, this is one of the early films to be released, you know, like theatrically, when people start to go to the movies again. So we'll all get a chance to see, and I'm dying to see Udo on the big screen too. I mean, I cannot wait.
I've never seen it on a big screen.
What's that?
You never saw the film on a big screen?
Actually, yeah, we did. We did once because there's a theater near, like in a small town near where I live, where Tim and I we know the person that runs the theater, which is closed, and we did a test screening there to like adjust sound and color and stuff. Udo, it looks, I mean, those eyes, my God, you know what I mean? It's like
Go on, continue.
yes, darling. In your mouth, in your mouth, in your nose, in your left ear.
Oh yes, yes.
But but I mean, it really is. It really, you know, Jackson, who shot the film, we when we designed the shots and stuff, we thought it would be criminal to not, with Udo playing the lead part, to not shoot tons of close-ups, right, Jackson?
Yeah. But those eyes, they pop on screen.
Oh my God.
Undeniable.
No, but it's now we have this horrible moment. I went to Texas for the Sundance Festival, and I had made a film after this film called Blazing World, and it was in competition. And I really can never imagine that before. I had to go to a car drive-in. And at the end, they gave me the microphone and I had to talk to cars. They were all cars and they were giving light signals, or they were ooh, ooh, ooh. And I was standing there, I said, my God, 2021. So to cars, I had to car drive in. But it's not the same, because it's not the same. I mean, I want to go to the cinema, buy something and sit there and look up and see it. And I hope that will happen. You know, it's like,
It will. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it will.
So we have a next question that's coming from our audience from Cammie Brady, and this is for you, Udo. You've played villains a large part of your career. How does a character like Mr. Pat compare to these roles? Is the experience different playing a character based on a real person, especially when they're so important to the director?
Of course, there's a difference. I mean, I was born a vampire, but that is many, many years ago. No, the thing was when I came to this beautiful place I'd never been, and I said to Todd, I would like to spend time in my room in the hospital with no camera and nobody is there, just me. I want to lie on the bed, really feel the mattress and really look in every drawer what is in there. So I had to make it my room. And the whole film was for me like this. I knew where I had hidden my cigarette, and I know the wonderful woman in the wheelchair. An amazing scene, no dialogue, just lighting two cigarettes, and give her one in her mouth. They were just real moments. So that you cannot say, oh, now I have to do this. Oh yeah, how you want me to light the two cigarettes? It all came from the inside. When I agreed to do the film, when we did our little crowdfunding, I told the people, I want to do that movie, send us some money. And the thing was, every scene was like that. I had not doing the whole film, there was for me, nothing calculated, it's going to be good. Of course it's different when I'm in Armageddon and Michael Bay said, you're the doctor, I give you all my actors for 1 hour and make them nervous, you're the psychiatrist. So what can you do? You know, it was also improvisation. And Steve Buscemi was the best. And, you know, but when, as an actor, when you play a supporting part, I try to be remembered. Otherwise, why I'm in the film? If I'm just in the film going around saying, oh, I was in Blade, the Overlord vampire. But you have to make, that's the question, what you asked me, when you make a supporting, when I get a script, I read first my role, without the script, only my role. And then I read the script with my role. And if I decide I don't have to be in the movie, why should I do it? So it is a movie, it's a visual appearance, and you have to be remembered. And it's, for me, it is wonderful when people say, especially women, they come and say, you are so evil. I say, okay, I got it. So, that's cinema, modern cinema. And I mean, I, in my life, worked with Fassbinder, Herzog, Wim Wenders, Lars von Trier, with great directors. And I try to have a good time. That's also important.
So one of the next questions I want to ask Todd, I mean, it's been a while since you had shot a film in Ohio. And, I guess maybe selfishly, being in the film commission, we're all about film shooting in Ohio. Did you notice any difference in like, the skill level of people from the last time you shot a film, as opposed to now?
Yeah, it's interesting. The only real full movie that I shot there was Edge of 17. That was shot in 1997 or 98. Back then, to be honest, it was really hard to find local crew of any kind. We tried to work with the film commission, but like people, when you're making a film like this, unfortunately, it's a pretty low rate, you know, like it's kind of beg, borrow, and steal. Right, Cass? Sean? But you know, so I wound up in that time having to bring all of my keys from New York and LA and stuff like that. But thanks honestly to your help and that you hooked me up with people like Cass and Shauna and Lydia, like you know, most of the keys came from Cleveland. So that's a huge difference, you know, like I found the area much more film friendly, for indie film friendly than it had been, you know, 20 or more years prior. So that's exciting, you know. And now I'm trying to get Sandusky, my hometown, like warmed up to be like a little, you know, movie capital of the North Coast.
Well, that perfectly, I don't know if you knew this, but it perfectly segues into the next question, which is from Constance. She's from Sandusky, and it's wonderful to see a feature that was shot here. What's it like coming home, and were our fellow Sanduskians receptive to the filming?
It was wonderful coming home. And it was a real contrast from when I made Edge of 17, which also had like a gay protagonist. At that time, we actually made a decision to keep what the film was about like a secret, because we felt that people wouldn't help us. You know, when you make a film like this, you need a lot of help from people. You know, like Cass and Shauna can tell you, like people donated the coffin for Linda Evans, and you know, like let us borrow, I should say, not donate. You know, like you pull like so many favors when you don't have a lot of money. And free locations and extras and all of that stuff. And like back in '97, you know, we just felt like if people knew it was a gay film or gay themed film, that they wouldn't help us, you know, which kind of turned out to be somewhat true, because like we literally created like a fake script and changed like, you know, Rod to Rhonda or whatever. And word got out that there was this queer subject matter, and it was a little bit of an issue. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was a little bit of an issue. Cut to 2019 when we went back to make the movie. When I first when Eric and I first landed in Sandusky to start pre-production, it was in the middle of the 3rd annual Gay Pride Festival, you know, which almost like made my brain explode in a good way, you know. And you know, but my hometown could not have like wrapped their arms around me and my actors and my crew more than they did. You know,
Yeah.
You know, and without that, we couldn't have done it on this budget, right, guys? I mean, we just could not have done it. So, and everybody knew what the subject was, and you know, it had been in the paper about Pat, and everybody was just like, how can I help? And,
not only was it in the paper, but the Sandusky Register actually printed with their newsloom the actual article that we created for Linda Evans' death article, her obituary. So, I mean, everyone, including the newspaper that is local, which they have to print at least 2,500 reams to get the coloring correct. I mean, everybody, including the local paper.
Fake news.
Yeah, they were concerned. But
Todd, if you want to keep making movies in Sandusky, we're here for you.
hey man, let's do it.
Well, I think that you know, I having worked on some lower budget films as well, and this, you know, anybody please chime in on this. I mean, when you work on the lower budget films, it becomes like that family atmosphere, and it's like you're the ones who are always hanging around each other. You're closing down the bars at night. You know, does anybody have certain stories that stick out from the filming?
who wants to start?
Not saying anything.
It's funny. I was so our production offices were at the State Theater, where if Chris Parthamore down there, he ran the State Theater, And one night, me and a couple of the crew were in there late working, and we didn't realize we like tripped some sort of security. And the next thing we knew, there were police officers at the front, along with, I think, the technical director was called out. And we were pretty freaked out. You know, they weren't too happy to have to be out at like 1 a.m. Dealing with this.
Right.
But you know, and they all, of course, everyone pushed me down there to deal with the police officers. But we cleared it up and everything was okay at the end of the day. But it was one of many times where we were out late doing some.
You know, somebody asked the question of what was the most special scene, and for me, I think it was the very improv State Theater, which is the opening of the movie, where Udo says, I'm Pat and I'm back, because that was one of the last things we shot, and it happened so naturally and organically. And knowing what the State Theater has gone through with the wild storm that tore it apart, I think that is completely the most special scene. Especially because it's such an odd dream sequence of like his rationale with you know, his memories have a grandiose nature that didn't really exist because who he was is like, I mean, it was a very special place that the State Theater was a huge deal.
And let's just also, oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, with that scene, that actually was like a really great addition, and that was the last day. I think we were filming, and I know on our end, costumes, it was like we needed to find a completely new change for that scene on the last day of filming. And I thought it was really it was exciting because I had talked to Pat's niece,
Sarah,
yeah, while she would come to visit set, and she said Pat always wore this white fur coat. He would always, like, if you got a white fur coat in there, and I said, well, you know, this takes place really over like one day. We've kind of got our costume, but that would be amazing. And then the last day of filming, Todd says we would like to add this scene, and I thought, oh my God, I have a white fur coat in my basement in my kit.
Yeah.
And I was able to like put together this dream sequence costume and include a white fur coat that is very much Pat. And
it's the opener. I mean, it was so like it felt destined to happen. That scene is so bizarre and in so many factors for all of us, I think, you know.
Which I don't know if this was mentioned, but it was actually Udo's idea.
Yes.
Because Udo had seen Liberace when he was alive, of course, in Las Vegas, and he came to, before he played, he had diamonds on every finger, and he went to the audience and went like that and said, "You paid for it." And I never forget that. That's, you know, because there was so many, and I wanted to do that somehow in the movie. Says you know.
It was a little surreal to see that scene right at the beginning, right at the end, and in the post credits as well. Seeing that over and over, you definitely made a lot of people in Sandusky tear up with that too.
But it's very important.
Amazing to see.
Homage to the State Theater. I'm glad it was immortalized.
Yeah, the little moment was very important. Pat is back.
And we didn't know where it was gonna. We didn't know really where it was gonna play. It was just kind of this
right. I mean,
scene. So it was
that was cool because I mean, I would like to say that I wrote that and that, you know, that was planned, but it really was completely Udo's idea.
It's not true.
It is true. Yes, it is.
Oh, but with the big chandelier and the chandelier's like haunting you this entire time. I mean, it was so important that we got that shot in there. I mean, it was It was brilliant. I remember sitting in the audience with Jackson, and it was a moment. It was one of the last days, and it was very, very special. I think
But you also probably remember that Udo kept talking about it,
yes,
like over and over.
We have to shoot in here. What are we? And we did. We shot in the dressing room, and but
he was like, we could shoot it on an iPhone or whatever, and he made some deal with Jackson or something.
Right.
But I kept saying, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And Udo, I don't think you believed me, but we made it happen. And we didn't exactly know where it was gonna go. I think in the original cut, like Pat fell down a few times and had like these visions or whatever. And I think maybe we thought it was gonna go there. But the theater inspired that idea. Right?
The theater had this perfect curtain,
right?
A big. And it was perfect to open something, because you open a show, you open a film.
So bravo to Spencer for that editing, because
absolutely,
that was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yes. I have a couple quick questions that kind of came to me about the dance scene. So it's kind of a two-part question. Is I heard there's an interesting story about how you got the Robin song, and then secondly, all right, I have to get this right, but Jim Obergefell, who is one of the judges in the in a landmark case, he's in the dancing, and he posted about it on Facebook. How did that come about as well?
Jim Obergefell, who was part of the gay marriage, the gay marriage Supreme Court case is named after him. Grew up 1 block away from me on Central Avenue and was 1 year older than me, and I never knew him.
Wow.
I barely knew him I knew his face from high school and stuff, but so there's something in the water on Central Avenue in Sandusky. I don't know what's up with that. But no, Jim, so we become friends over the years, and it was like a high honor to have him be in that scene, because like he really taught so many, gay folks, and not just gay folks, but like he's like the face of gay marriage in a way. And so that was super cool. But the Robin song, Robin, they was performing on Jimmy Kimmel, I think, the night before. We shot the scene, and I had written this like letter to her saying how much that song meant to me. And they literally, like 2 days before we shot the scene, her manager got her the letter when she was like in the dressing room of Jimmy Kimmel, ready to film it, to do the show. And she said yes. She gave permission for us.
Right.
And Udo did not have a lot of time. That's how kind of spontaneous like things were happening. That like he had to learn that song and to figure all that out, like with basically no time. But I mean, my God, it's like to me, it's like the centerpiece of the film. It's like
that was also another very special scene.
Mhm.
They're all so special. I don't know how to answer that question.
Right. But I mean, who can pull off coming out with the
oh my God. I mean, you were fearless, Udo. You were. I mean, that was one of the first purchases I made on that movie, was the chandelier, because we knew that we were going to have, and we knew it was going to be so interdepartmental. I knew it was going to be in the corner of the dressing room. So I purchased it knowing it needed to be weighted appropriately for your head. Shauna came in, we tried to figure out how to strap it. And the rigging electric, the best boy came in, poured up your back. I mean, it was, and you came out there going, let's do this, singing a song you barely knew. It was quite romantic, to be honest.
And for me, it was important that it was lit, not just, out of the blue, all the lights. And there was a lot of great ideas from Todd in it, which you wrote, which I liked very much. And I had a very good time making this movie. And I think about it sometimes thinking back when I walk down the street, looking at the stores, the bar on the right, the restaurant straight ahead in the garden, the hairdresser on the left. So I remember I could draw the whole street and all the shops. So it was really wonderful.
That's great. Well, I know we are almost up against our time, and I feel like we've only just started. But any kind of last words? I mean, I know what is now you're early still in the festival life of the film, and we know that it is going to come out in theaters. What's the next couple months look like? Is it going to be just traveling festivals all over? Or?
Yeah, Magnolia, the film was picked up. It premiered at South by Southwest, and it was picked up by Magnolia Pictures, who's like the dream distributor for the film. And they are now, booking it not just in America, but all over the world, festivals all over the world. And, I probably can't say like publicly yet, like what the festivals are, but once we disconnect from the public, I'll fill these guys in. But yeah, it's going to play festivals throughout the summer, at least in America, like it'll, and in Europe and Australia and, all these amazing places. It'll play all over the world, festivals over the summer. And then, like I said, it's tentative, but I think that Magnolia plans to release it theatrically in early August, I hope, So that's subject to change, but right now we're starting to work on the trailer, on the poster, all of that stuff. And they're very, very, very excited about it. Like they've hired multiple extra publicists and and they have they really believe in the film, which is
it's a good, strong company.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I would like to say something.
Yes.
This is your mama. Okay. I think I can speak for your dad and I just, all of you, we love you all. And we especially want to thank all of you for believing in our son. We've always believed in him, but it's just been wonderful watching this all take place and you believing in him.
Absolutely.
Love you all. Love you all.
So sweet.
I think
very easy.
That's the perfect way to wrap this up. But I think I'm going to jump on that and just say you should all be very proud of yourselves. It's such a special film, and I'm glad that that the film festival got to show it. I want to just say a real quick thank you to my coworker Juliana, who helped put a lot of this together. Without her, I would have been completely lost. So, but I want to kick it back to Deidre, to finish this off.
Bye, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
You're muted, Deirdre. You're muted.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Okay.
Are we out of time?
That's much better. There we go. I had so much fun just listening to this whole conversation. So thank all of you. This was just a really beautiful reunion. I wish I was on the set and working on the film.
Swan Song 2, you're coming with.
Yeah. Hey, I meet one criteria. I'm from Ohio. So
I am in Ohio.
you all seem like you had such a beautiful time together. And Todd, your work, your leadership, your vision, I admire it greatly. And I think everyone on this call does too. So congratulations again. And yes, congratulations again. If you can't hear it, we can feel the energy. And I dropped some information for the virtual happy hour celebration, I'm going to call it, that we're going to have tomorrow, because it will also be a really fun event. So take a look at those details. It'll be a fun evening, 8 p.m. You can wear your pajamas, bring a drink. And thank you also very, very much to everyone at the Greater Cleveland Film Commission. It's a pleasure to work with you always. And until next time. So thank you from the Cleveland International Film Festival.